So today is another day in the saga of trying to get this loan to close on this mortgage, on this house, rather, get this house to close. I was told that for the third time, I've been told it was clear to close. There was nothing else that was needed, and it's coming out of closing until we're going to get docs out. They said we'll have it out by Thursday night or Friday morning at the latest. I'm sorry, Wednesday night or Thursday morning at the latest. Well, Thursday came and went. And you know what they said to me and my realtor and titling today? It's going to be Friday, tonight, Thursday night, or by Friday at the latest, Friday morning at the latest. And I said, look, it doesn't look like this thing's going to close until, now we got a holiday that's going to be involved. So there's no way we're going to be able to close this thing at the time frame that everyone, we're well past the time frame, so I'm not even sure why I brought that up. This has been an absolute nightmare. Title company will not even have a notary even schedule an appointment to do paperwork, to get the doc signed, because they won't do it because they've already done this before and it was canceled because they weren't ready, even though they told everybody that they were ready and we had a date and a time signed. So now they want to do it again, meaning the mortgage company or the lender wants to have a time to schedule to have the doc signed again, and notary saying, okay, where are or title company is saying to the mortgage company, where are the documents? Where's the packet? So that the notary has what they need to sign. Also, I need to know what's out there for wiring purposes, right? And they said, well, it's going to come. It's definitely going to be there. And they're saying, well, we have no trust in you because you told us that before. Nobody believes you. So we won't do anything until we actually have the documents. So here we are. Here we are at, we are 2 weeks past the initial closing date. It sat in underwriting for 5 days and nothing was done, just sat there. And when they finally got to it, it took them 5 minutes to look at whatever they needed to look at. No deferences to the deadline that we're all under. And so none at all, just sitting there. And then we were waiting for the appraisal to make a revision in their paperwork, in their documents, in the appraisal. And they said, well, we haven't received it yet. So we're still waiting on that. So my realtor, feeling very skeptical about anything they say, contacts the appraiser, and the appraiser said, actually, we sent it to them hours ago. We called them up and said, they said they sent it to you. He said, oh, let me check my emails. Oh, there it was. And so we lost several hours in the day for information to be signed, hopefully for us to be able to get this thing into closing. So this is a nightmare. I will share when this whole thing is over who the lender is, because I'm going to highly suggest that you never go there. And I don't like saying that, but I only say that when service is really, really awful and people don't communicate with you. Look, we all know that errors happen, mistakes happen. Things don't always happen on time the way you want them to. We all get that. We all understand that. Here's the problem. The problem becomes when no one communicates with you about problems in the process, or they give you deadlines that they know that they have no control over, and they give it out. They just make an arbitrary date as to when something's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And then now everyone's mad, angry, pissed off, and because they're saying, we thought this was ready. Why did you tell us that? All it does is cause discord, frustration, where people they don't even want to do anything extra for you, because they view now this whole transaction as one massive delay. And they'd rather deal with a transaction that doesn't have the problems that this one seems to be having. But in large part, this is how the loan officer kind of mishandled some things greatly from a communication perspective. Maybe they're just too thin in terms of underwriting. They probably have centralized underwriting, so files are being sent, so therefore things are having to wait from that perspective. Whatever it may be, it's just been a very, very awful experience. And there's been several thousands of dollars that I have wasted as a result of this, which I'm going to get into specifically what happened to me, which really makes this even more embarrassing. So stay tuned for the saga of trying to purchase this home. It's just been an absolute and utter nightmare, and I hope no one goes through this. And my only way to maybe help some other people to help people avoid having to deal with a transaction that ended up to become so bad as this one is to really look, as we look at everything that happens. I look at everything that occurred here, and I've already done that. I've already actually done a autopsy on the process, and it's very clear that the culprit of how poorly this thing has been handled has been the lender. When they've needed anything from me, any documentation, I noted that I'd given to them any documentation information that they needed in less than an hour. They made the request from me and they got it in less than an hour. So I've done my part. It's not a situation where things are needed and then I'm not following up and giving them what they need. I'm giving them exactly what they need in less than an hour. So on my hand, when I'm waiting for things, it's going well over 24 hours. Look, I get that there's the housing market is flooded with transactions right now. I understand it, I get it, but I think the biggest thing that you learn is to make sure that you're being straight with people, make sure that you are telling them exactly what's needed, and you make sure they understand everything that they need to, that the buyer or seller needs to be aware of, both pre and post underwriting. There's different things that could happen that weren't shared with me either. So I will reveal the name of the lender and everything that happened to see if just to make sure people stay away from this lender. I can't recommend. I need to help other people avoid that lender. So I'll be very specific as to what that is, because for all the money that was spent and through their errors, it cost me a lot of money. There were no concessions that they gave me to offset the amount of money that I lost. So if they were willing to even do anything to help on any level, but they didn't even try. They said they'll look into it and they never even got back to me. They just kind of left me in a lurch, like they left this entire transaction just kind of hanging out there. That type of company or individual, those are not people that I want to do business with. Those aren't people that I would want to recommend to anybody. So, especially if this isn't the first home for me at all, but for anyone who could be a first-time home buyer, this would be an absolute nightmare and would jade anybody from wanting to do a transaction. It's almost like having the rug pulled out from underneath you. Just when you feel like things are about to happen, then the rug gets pulled out. So anyway, more to come on this, the nightmare housing transaction to come later.